Okay, hi guys, Novotron here. I'm back with a reaction video, and today's reaction is requested by KH Brony. He hit me up on Twitter saying, and in the YouTube comments saying, "Hey, react to this." He sent me a link to it, so I'm finally now getting to it, and it's called Johnny versus Spider-Man, and it's not just any Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man for the PS4, a series that I played. I know well about because I have 100% on everything. I could go and brag about how much I like the game and how good it is, but I'm going to see his word for it. An intro.
There's a certain emptiness that now permeates throughout this room now that my futon has transcended to a higher plane of existence. But hey, I'm finally looking at a Spider-Man game. Yeah, some of you are wondering when that day would arrive. I looked at Batman enough times, where's the Spider-Man love? Truth be told, I'm not what you would consider a humongous Spider-Man fan. I've been well familiar with the character for a very long time, but let's start with the review proper. I've been meaning to play this game for months, but now that I got Resident Evil 2 Remake out of the way, now that I got Kingdom Hearts 3 out of the way, let's finally give Spider-Man some attention. So as I was saying, yeah, not entirely a big Spider-Man fan. I never read any of his comics, bearing a few issues of Marvel Zombies, and even then he wasn't the focus of that. My earliest memories go back as far as the animated series that used to air on Fox Kids in the 90s, but I still didn't watch the show a whole lot. It didn't grab me the same way that Batman the Animated Series did, or shit, even Power Rangers, and that show was all kinds of bug nuts. I couldn't tell you why, it just didn't click with me. Still, despite the indifference, I didn't veer away from the web slinger either. I remember when we got our first computer back in 1996, it came with the Spider-Man Cartoon Maker, where you can draw, create movies with cheesy music, and glorified animated GIFs. It was terrible, but I did spend an unhealthy amount of time just fucking about with it. I'm getting all sorts of nostalgic looking at this. Whew, hard to believe that was close to 23 years ago. Besides that, I was also a pretty big fan of the Sam Raimi movies. Well, two of them. They haven't aged too gracefully, but I still think they're a good watch. The first one introduced me to Willem Dafoe, one of my favorite actors of all time. He's just so batshit insane in the first movie that he steals the whole show. Pity about the whole hang glider thing. Oh. The second movie I love just for the fight between Spider-Man and Doc Ock on top of the train alone. The third movie, can't say I love it. I don't think it's a blight on humanity. I just think it went overboard in so many damn different directions. If I'm laughing at the film, it's for the wrong reasons. After this, though, this is where I sort of stopped caring. I didn't watch any of the new cartoons. I saw Amazing Spider-Man in theaters once, didn't think much of it, and I didn't even bother seeing Amazing Spider-Man 2, though from what I hear, that was probably for the best. Starting with Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man Homecoming, I started taking a liking to the Spider-Dude once more because I thought these were great watches.
Okay, Spider-Man! Don't flip!
And yes, that also includes Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm watching that today, and I'm doing a movie review over it, so stay tuned.
Such a good movie. I mean, not just as a Spider-Man film, just the movie, period. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I loved it that much. Go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. My words can't do it justice. Now, if we're talking video games, though, there's not much to discuss. The only Spider-Man games I ever played was Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six for the NES, which could be best described as Spider-Man and the Sinister Dick Punch, given how effective low blows were to bosses in that game. I also played Separation Anxiety for the SNES over at SGB a few years back, and anxiety is right. I can't think of anything else that would give me more anxiety than some random S&M robot kidnapping me and locking me in their sex dungeon, and no, you're not getting context for that. Besides those, the only one I ever put any real time into was the video game adaptation of the first movie. Like I said, I did enjoy the film, so I went and got the game, and it's alright. I wouldn't recommend it now, but it's still got a degree of personality. And hey, Bruce Campbell is the narrator for the tutorial segments, and what's
yeah,
all
I've played
about
this
that?
game.
If you want to throw some more goons around, knock on the door by facing it and pressing the punch button.
That's where he gets a sandwich.
I'm gonna grab a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, too much mustard.
I'm sure I could talk about this game some more should I ever get into a Spider-Man marathon. I get requests all the time to talk about Spider-Man games, mainly the ones released in the 2000s, so sure, we can do that one day.
Shattered Dimensions.
But yeah, that's my personal history with the web slinger, just to give you guys...
What first introduced me to Spider-Man in 2099, which is one of my favorite Spider-Mans.
An idea where I stand on that. I was pretty excited for this game when it was first announced. Not so much because of who was developing it. I didn't play much of Insomniac Games' other titles before this, if I'm being honest, but no.
I only played one Insomniac game before playing this, and that was Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
On what was shown, it looked like they were giving us an Arkham game. only with Spider-Man, and I was totally on board for that. And I just want to say now, if there are previous Spider-Man games that already sort of did this thing beforehand, I personally don't know about them, so my apologies if this seems like a fresh idea to me. But I assure you that ignorance stems from just the lack of playing other Spider-Man games. Whatever the case, it looked like we were getting Spider-Man Arkham City only with actual sunlight, something brighter, more colorful, with a lot more snark, and I wanted to start there. Spider-Man's not my favorite hero, but I adore him as a character. He is fun personified. After stopping crime, he takes a break to eat pizza. He takes the subway if he wants to fast travel to a certain location, all while chatting with the locals, or listening to music, or getting lost on his phone. You could roam around Times Square and say hello to people, give some folks some high fives, and he's got a mouth like you wouldn't believe. It's a fucking superpower, I swear to Christ. He knows exactly how to get under a bad guy's skin with his constant quips, snooty remarks, and he never shuts up, but it's great seeing the bad guys get so annoyed by it. This game runs with that, and some of the best writing stems from the things said by Spider-Man in the middle of battle.
If you ask me, some people don't talk enough. Think about who their mysterious overlord is. The person they're working for, that kind of thing. Shut up!
Yuri Lowenthal nails it perfectly with his performance as Peter Parker and his alter ego. Major kudos to him. This dude is Peter Parker. The acting is great throughout, though. Laura Bailey as Mary Jane, Tara Platt as Yuri Watanabe, Nancy Lenari as Aunt May, just to name a few. They all put on great performances in a game that's also one of the best looking of this generation. Cutscenes look incredible. The models are on point, the framing is top notch, the lighting is superb, the sound design is sublime, and the fact that they're done in real time means...
See that? All the people that did not like me playing the Spider-Man game because I played it too much, now you know fucking why. Because all that's amazing. Especially for a Spider-Man game that took so long just to make and probably get out. And probably the only Spider-Man game we're going to get. They already announced the sequel and the black suit and all that. So I'm only assuming Venom and Green Goblin because the cutscenes from the end of the series. But people wonder why I'm so hyped into this. It's because it's the first Spider-Man that we're getting after years, months, and weeks of getting, which the last game was, which I'm pretty sure was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It wasn't for Xbox One or PS4. It wasn't. It was for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And that's the last time we saw Spider-Man games until the new consoles came out, and finally they released it. But it wasn't for Xbox One. It was for PS4 only. And I mean, I wouldn't mind it being a double game thing because Xbox players would have a reason to try it out and then judge it quickly, but they don't have time to judge it because they wouldn't be able to play it unless you had a PS4. Or like that's either if you went over to someone's house and they had a PS4 or you watched gameplay of it, but technically watching gameplay of it doesn't really reveal anything. In my opinion, watching gameplay of it doesn't reveal anything for me. I have to play the game just to get my obvious opinion on it.
Any spider suit you wear will reflect on the current scene. The villain's attempting something sneaky? Well, this looks like a job for the Fantastic Bagger. What is this costume?
The Fantastic Bag.
Putting on
It's the Bombastic Bagman.
the Raimi costume makes you feel like I'm watching the fourth Raimi movie we never got, though. This is just all scratching the surface. There's an assload of costumes to unlock in this game. One of my favorites being the cel-shaded retro costume. It sticks out for all the right reasons, and I love it. The story here
it's a good costume, don't get me wrong, I just don't like it that much.
Small spoiler warning, just a heads up. You can skip to here if you want to skip my plot summary. Spider-Man as a whole is something I would describe as tremendously safe in execution.
I beat the game and the
DLCs.
DLCs.
Anything. When I call it Spider-Man Arkham City, I mean that in almost every sense of the word, and I should stress, that's not a bad thing. Our story begins with Spider-Man taking on Wilson Fisk and his gang after a messy scuffle and a shitload of web. The Kingpin is apprehended and sent to jail. It's a bright day for New York City for all about 10 minutes, for shortly after...
I'm going to skip this for you guys just in case you want to play the game yourselves. So basically, all of the rest of the video that he talked about, I'm ending it, and I'm not ending, like, I'm only ending the video here because I don't want it to be too long, because I have some other videos I got to get uploaded, and the Wi-Fi's bad here, so, not only that, but technically the only things that was left that he did in the video was just explain combos, special moves, suits, and rest of the story, which I said I wasn't going to do because if you haven't watched my gameplay of it and don't want to listen to that, it's because of the only reasons of people just wanting to play the game itself. Even if they don't like it, I'm still going to respect it. But anyway, that's basically that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. KH Brony, thank you for hitting me up on Twitter and in the YouTube comments. Like him, you guys can request anything, and I'll... if it's good, if it's bad, I don't care at this point. I might as well watch it. I mean, I got nothing better to do. Red Dead's about over, and I got something special coming up for you guys. It is a demo, though, I'm pretty sure, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to add me on Twitter. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.